Randy with a notebook, Wendy with a pen, digging through the dark where the secrets been. Questions fly like bullets, truth cuts deep in the shadows where nightmares creep. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes, Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Clues left scattered like whispers in the wind. Every page they turn closer to the end. No stone unturned, no mystery safe. Through the chaos they pave the way. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes, Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Clues left scattered like whispers in the wind. Every page they turn closer to the end. No stone unturned, no mystery safe. Through the chaos they pave the way. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes, Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Late nights burn bright under the moon. Answers buried deep, they'll find out soon. Guts and glory on a darkened stage. Randy and Wendy script the final page.
I really like that song.
The fact that Manson is my favorite part of our intro is disturbing, but
It is disturbing. I wanted to cut that part so bad.
and
you,
I said, please no,
you
please.
begged me not to. I'm like, all right, you can have it. Not only do you have it, but it's the grand finale of the songs.
It's the grand finale, and he chose that hairdo. Like that's not his hair falling out. He shaved it like that. I have an
Well,
appreciation for.
Yeah, he's a normal guy, you know. Sure.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Charles. I have those days.
Right. Some days you're just like, you know what? I think I'm over having this hair.
This cowlick's got to go. Meow.
Zero. There you go. Much better.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Thank
everybody.
y'all for
Good
being here
morning.
so early. We felt, even though we didn't stream this trial that you couldn't hear, we
Yeah.
feel like today's going to be good. I am a little surprised at how quickly they're going to sentence this guy.
I love it. I wish all trials went like this.
Me
I
too.
can't stand this whole, we're going to do a pre-sentencing hearing and we'll meet you back in 4 months. What? What the hell? Just do it. Just throw the book at him. So victim impact statements are going to be rough. I'm already ready with my tissues.
Yeah.
This trial was a very interesting trial in places, and then in other spots it was a snooze fest, which they're not obligated to provide me a show when they're doing a trial. I understand. I do understand that. And that's a ridiculous thing for me to even care about, honestly. Oh, this isn't interesting. Someone's life was taken.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't have to be interesting. It just has to be truthful, factual. Some of the highlights, though, for me on this trial were when Dad got up and testified. Mostly because it was shenanigans by the defense that just kept blowing up in their face, frankly.
Yeah.
From their opening statement that they didn't even bother trying to prove, to calling Dad at the very last second. Dad didn't know he was testifying. All of a sudden, he walks in the Monday morning, and boom, they call his name. I think it was Monday. I don't remember what day it was. Friday, maybe Friday. I don't remember. Saturday. I don't know. I think it was Saturday. He walks in there, sits down. All of a sudden, defense calls his name, and he has to get up there and testify on behalf of the defense for the fucker that murdered his daughter. Excuse my pre-coffee language. Sorry, guys. But you know what I mean? Like, I just and his testimony I thought was fantastic. I think it blew up in the defense's face, like much of their strategy did blow up in their face.
Oh, I think that, yes. And I love that we were presented with a defense that never got any backup whatsoever.
Not even a little bit. And the DA, that was beautiful for her.
Chef's
The
kiss.
DA knew it, because she gets up at the rebuttal, which we played yesterday on my channel. And I put the timestamps in for that for anybody who wants to skip that part from yesterday's video. But the DA got up yesterday and completely brought it home. She brought it home.
Hey, Ginger.
Like,
Yeah.
she basically, they sucked. They fed you a bunch of crap and didn't give you any of it. And you're right, they didn't have much to work with. They didn't, because he was guilty as hell. Guilty as hell.
Right.
He even said he was guilty. Like, why didn't he just plead guilty?
I mean, I stabbed her, but I didn't think about it before, so it's totally not premeditated. I didn't bring a knife into the bedroom to peel off paper that you can use your fingernail for, or your teeth. What a joke.
Such a complete joke. Complete joke. But anyway, I'm glad justice is going to be served again. I do enjoy those trials where I feel comfortable with the verdict, not again, like they're not under any obligation to make me comfortable with anything. I get it. I know that. I do know that. But I like them more. But victim impact statements are going to be rough, as they always are.
Yeah. She was, what, 22? Am I right about that? 22.
She's young, very young. Yeah, 22.
And
22. Bless her.
I hope they really rip into him. I hope they do. And I think we've missed the sentence. Okay, so let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. They just got started over there, so.
Go through some pretty simple to be able to translate first. So I can bring out Mr. Let's see, State Rate Pursuit. Bring out Mr. Chen.
Should I bump?
Yeah, maybe a little. Excuse me. The police officer just pointed at the camera. He did. Look at him.
Yeah, like, good morning.
He's awesome out there. He totally just pointed at it and smiled. That was his 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, thanks for getting my good side. Pew, pew.
Oh, finger guns.
Yeah.
I love him. He was her, I guess, ex-boyfriend or someone. He did. Yes, he did. He just pointed at us. That was awesome. Hello, Mr.
Well, they met on Bumble. Is that it? Bumble?
No, they met on Bumble. Yes. Yeah. And I guess they were, boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever, dating loosely. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But I think that he's a murderer. I mean, I think his intention. But I don't think he was on there for love. I think he was on there to kill.
Really? So you think that he really premeditated this? Like he was looking for?
I do.
Really?
That's why I think he hit somebody else up so quickly.
Wow. Well, goodbye, Mr. Chen.
Yeah.
Now, is he facing the death penalty, this guy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Which all of a sudden I'm a big advocate for the death penalty. I used to say, no, you shouldn't do that.
Well, hey
But
Pamela.
ever
Thank
since,
you.
good morning,
Ever since what?
Stephen Stearns.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seriously, he didn't tie his shoes, death penalty.
Yeah. Is this Chen's family first? Is that who goes first? The defense?
I mean, I don't want to assume that's his family, but
Sorry. Sorry if that means I assumed something. I probably did. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing. Look, I'm taking the variables that I know about and I'm coming to a conclusion. Okay. If it's wrong, if that makes me an ist of some kind, I
yeah.
apologize. Okay? I'm just trying to put pieces together.
Right, and get up there and call him he's a teddy bear. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, that one with the fangs and the
Yes,
knife.
that's exactly what I was just thinking of.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden he goes from a smile to horrible fangs.
Yeah.
Oh, that bear.
You know who was a funny clown at first? It.
Yeah. That's the defense attorney. He's all, my client is throwing up in the back and he is not really ready to come out here and face anybody.
Yeah, he preferred to not attend.
Is that okay? Do you mind? And you know, if something like that happened, the DA would go back there and drag him out by the leg. She would not even care.
Yes.
Y'all get your little bony ass out here. Come on.
Yes, with a belt. I just want to just whip his ass out all the way with a belt like in the good old days when your parents would do that at Walmart, not give one shit about dare somebody call the cops.
That's right. Oh, that's right. I wonder if the jury's already had conversations about possible sentence. Are they not allowed to do that ahead of time? Like, do they have to wait for the victim
Chen
impact?
is ready, he'll be brought out in the courtroom. We'll go over his right to testify. We'll bring at that point, the defense will call the Chen family members who wish to testify. At that point, we'll
Wow, yeah.
employer services, just so you know what the format's going to be. Thank you again.
I knew it was Chen family members.
I mean, I had a suspicion.
It depends on the nature of the questions. Until we'll probably another 10 minutes before we get started. Is that going to work?
Well, I'm going to try my best not to jeopardize my other case, and they are not here yet.
Okay.
And I know it won't be for probably another 30 minutes or so.
Okay. Well,
I'm just on standby, yeah.
Well, we have all morning for this. So for whatever reason, we need to stop your testimony and then recall.
Oh, she's the
it.
interpreter.
There, we can do it sometime this morning.
Oh,
This afternoon.
Okay.
that's
So
so
I was
bad.
wrong. I'm sorry. I'm a racist. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
I will be able to help.
Oh, but
Thank you.
oh boy.
So I will leave whenever I have to.
Just let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the interpreter. I zoomed in on her name up at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I
she's
see it now.
Yeah, see it. They're
Yeah.
waiting for family members, and I guess she's going to interpret for them. Jeez, that's a rough gig, isn't it?
Yeah. What can they possibly say? I don't think he's up for death. I don't think he is.
No, but I guess I don't know either. Yeah, what's he facing? Does it say in the description? Sometimes it says in the description what they're facing. Pam, I know, and parents have this innate ability to hit you every time too. They make contact every time. That noise right there. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Through the whole dang trial, man. Ridiculous. Stop moving, whoever that is. Telling us.
Joel, is that you?
Blowing out people's eardrums. I'm telling you, because I have my thing up at the max, audio.
Your Honor, I know we're on a time crunch here, but
I do too.
Here comes Shaky Sweater.
Absolutely. And we are working around the interpretive schedule for sure. But as she indicated, also does have another case she's interpreting for today. She'll be free at some point if we need to bifurcate the testimony. I don't want to feel
That's
like
funny.
it's not being said because of the time frame we're working around. It's not necessarily a crime. I just want to make sure you're pushing.
I mean, your kid flinches now. They will call DCS on you.
Okay. And for their friends.
Mm-hmm. And just us talking about it is a way to like get canceled the house, because there was like a YouTuber that's their child flinched in a buggy at Walmart, and I had a kid, Steph. She was a flincher, and I
Yeah.
would tell her all the time, "Stop it! People are going to think I beat you." And Shirley, that is. I accidentally scratched you in the eye one time. Come on.
Look at Pammy said, my mother took a switch to me once from one end of our street to the other. Then I got in trouble when we made it to the house for embarrassing her by screaming all the way down the street.
Pammy,
Oh, the good old days.
I have that same story, except let me tell you, I was on a bicycle. So Nanny was chasing me, hitting me with the switch, whipping me with the switch. I deserved it. But how was she staying up with the bicycle? Nobody will ever know, because I was trying my best, obviously, to get away.
Because Nanny can fly. We
Nanny
always
could
think
fly.
she had superpowers. Yeah, we had Dad. That's what we had. Dad in the belt, digging through the coat rack, looking for the belt. I'll never forget the way that sounds. Yeah, we got the belt. We didn't have switches.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know which hurts worse. Because a switch, if they get the right one, it'll wrap. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's horrible. Oh God, I just got chills. That's
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah. I never did that with my kids. We didn't do belts or anything like that. I never needed to, thank God. And I remember deciding that really young as a child. Like, I will never do this to my children.
No,
You don't need to do that. You could just tell me to stop doing something and I'll actually stop. You don't have to do that. But he did what he thought was right, probably based on what his dad did to him. He would tell me,
that's exactly.
yeah, he would tell me stories about, waking up after dad punished him, like knocked him unconscious.
Damn.
I know. So I think we got the better end of that deal, and my kids
Yeah.
got the better end of my deal. So
I woke up in the emergency room.
yes, like he would tell stories like that. You have no idea.
Mr. Chen, go to the podium with your attorney. Mr. Chen, we're here for the sentencing hearing of your case. I believe you talked to Mr. Weiss about your constitutional right to testify at the sentencing hearing if you want to. He's going to ask you some questions about that. You raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so you got?
I do.
Hmm.
All right, Jason, yesterday, you made a decision not to testify in the guilt phase of the trial. This is the sentencing phase of the trial. You have a right for this jury to hear what you have to say that might be mitigating. You also have a right to not testify. We've gone over the benefits and detriments of doing both. Have you had enough time to talk to me about it?
I have.
Do you understand that it is a fundamental constitutional right to testify, but there's also a fundamental constitutional right to not testify.
Yes,
What is your decision?
not to testify.
If you'll sign
Wow.
the date right here.
Wow. Not even gonna say sorry, huh? You son of a bitch. Not even gonna say sorry. Oh, your family must be proud. Fuck him. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Attorney Chen, as your attorney noted, it is your constitutional right to choose to testify or not testify. That can't be taken away from you.
陈先生，就像您的律师所讲的，您有权
Oh, this ought to be fun.
Oh boy. Wow.
Mrs. Ralph,
Yes.
I wasn't clear earlier. We're only going to need, Mr. Chen speaks English. It's only Mr. Chen's family that we'll be translating for. So I'll let you know when we need. That's okay. Thank you.
Whoops.
Mr. Chen, again, you understand it's your constitutional right to choose to testify or to choose not to testify. In this particular case, I know you talked to Mr. Weiss about that decision. You made the decision not to testify. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Wow.
Or show remorse. No
Yeah.
remorse.
Not even gonna say sorry. Nothing. What a weak punk you are.
Mhm.
You are weak. Oh God, tomatoes. Can't stand you. Terrible. Right, Pam? Absolute piece of trash. You know that defense attorney is like, just hurry this up so I can get off this damn case.
Yes.
Had it with this punk. Impossible to defend. Didn't help at all with his own defense.
No.
Told a story that he couldn't even a little bit back up. Made everybody look like fools.
She scared me with a wine glass. You know that.
Piece of
All right,
shit.
please.
Absolute piece of trash.
Want to make sure before we start, as always, that
Oh wow, Pammy.
you're able to abide by the court's admonition not to speak about the case with one another and not to be exposed to the media. Is that correct? Nod your head. Like everyone nodding their head. What's going to happen now is I'm going to read some preliminary jury instructions for you that deal with the sentencing hearing. Then the parties will start.
He did just say not the death penalty, right?
I don't know. I can't hear the guy.
Now found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of first degree premeditated murder, Jasmine Pace. As charged in count 1, presentment 315228. As a consequence, your duties in this case are not yet concluded. And on count 1 only, there will be a second sentencing phase of the trial, during which it will be your duty to determine, within the limits prescribed by law, the penalty that shall be imposed as punishment. In Tennessee, the possible sentences for the offense of first degree murder include imprisonment for life and imprisonment for life without possibility of parole. In this case, the state is seeking a sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole in count 1.
That's what he's going to get.
The defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life shall not be eligible for release until the defendant has served at least 51 full calendar years of such sentence. The defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life without parole shall never be eligible for release.
Good.
The
Bye.
law provides that no sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole shall be imposed by a jury, but upon a unanimous finding that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of one or more statutory aggravating circumstances, which in this case shall be limited to the following factor: that the murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel.
Yes.
Involved torture
Yeah.
or serious physical abuse beyond that necessary to produce death. The burden of proof is upon the
Fastidious.
state to prove any statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is that doubt created by an investigation of all the proof in the case, an inability after such investigation to let the mind rest easy as to the certainty of your verdict. Absolute certainty is not demanded by the law, but moral certainty is required, and if certainty is required as to every element of proof necessary to constitute a verdict. Tennessee law also provides that in arriving at the punishment, the jury shall consider any mitigating circumstances raised by the evidence. In this case, the mitigating circumstances shall include, but are not limited to, the following. 1, the defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity. 2, the youth of the defendant at the time of the crime. 3,
Hey,
any
Evelyn.
other mitigating factor which is raised by the evidence produced by either the prosecution or defense at either the guilt or the sentencing hearing. That is, you shall consider any aspect of the defendant's character or record, or any aspect of the circumstances or the offense favorable to the defendant which is supported by the evidence. The defendant does not have the burden of proving a mitigating circumstance. There is no requirement that the jury be married to any particular mitigating circumstance, or that you agree on the same mitigating circumstance. In deciding the sentence for count 1, you are authorized to weigh and consider any statutory aggravating circumstance that has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and any mitigating circumstance that may have been raised by the evidence throughout the entire course of this trial, including the guilt finding phase, the sentencing phase, or both. The jury is the sole judge of the facts and the law as it applies to the facts in this case. In arriving at your verdict, you are to consider the law in connection with the facts, but the court is the proper source from which you are able to get the law. In other words, you're the judge of the law as well as the facts under the direction of this court. The law also makes you, the jury, the sole and exclusive judges of the credibility of the witnesses and the weight to be given to the evidence. Please be aware that the prohibitions on independent communication and research are removed for now. Until you retire to deliberate, you must not discuss the case, even with your fellow jurors. After you retire to deliberate, you may begin discussing the case with your fellow jurors, but you must not discuss the case with anyone other than your fellow jurors until you have returned a verdict and the case is at an end. At this time, we'll proceed to the sentencing phase. Mrs. Ralph, can you hear us? Mrs. Ralph, can you hear us?
That's you, interpreter. You're up. No? Nobody can hear you. That's the point, Judge.
Hey, Debbie.
That's been our
Morning.
complaint this whole damn trial. Nobody
Yeah.
can hear you.
Right. Now you know how we feel.
That's right. Mrs. Ralph done fell asleep waiting for you to say something to her. I can't believe he's not even going to testify. What a weak punk. I can't believe it. Not even
Yeah.
going to say sorry. I can't with him. Life without parole. What a weak. I mean, he better get that. Life without parole has to be. Has to be. Goodbye.
It has to be.
Rash.
Hello, can you hear us okay, Ms. Ralph?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, Mr. Weiss, you want to call you, Mr. Chen's family members, you may do so this time.
That's called Shu Feng Chen.
I can't even believe they're going to speak. I really can't. I know. I feel, oh gosh.
They have to go up to the chair to do it? Oh, goodness.
I wonder if
Is
that's
that
his
his-
mom.
Is that his mother? I was just asking
Oh.
that. Look at her. What a nightmare for her. God bless
Yeah,
her.
that's
John,
true.
could you translate for the bailiff as he swears the witness?
Yes.
So, mute it for a second, Randy, while they're doing this. This whole time, she's needed an interpreter. This whole time, she's needed an interpreter. Does she even know what's going on? Like,
I'd say that she's wore headphones, maybe.
I hope so. My goodness. All right, hit play. Sorry, I just wanted you to mute it. I didn't want to pause it. Go ahead.
Well,
You're about to give 是你将讲的证言将是实话，是吗？ Yes.
God bless her. What a horrible nightmare for her.
I know. Look at the bags. Can you imagine? Oh my
Right.
gosh.
I cannot imagine. Cannot. And to get up there and have to beg for his life when he's such a piece of shit. What is she holding?
The microphone.
Oh, it is the microphone. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't realize that.
清楚，慢一点，以便口译员能够听您口译，好不好？
Good morning, Ms. Chen.
早晨，先生。
Can you say, are you related to Jason Chen?
您跟 Jason Chen 有没有亲戚关系？我是他妈妈。I am his mom.
Oh.
God, how awful.
I want to talk to you about your son. Can you tell me a little bit about Jason?
你再讲一次，我听不大清楚。
That's
You say
sad.
that again,
God
I
bless
didn't
her.
hear you very well.
Can you tell me about your son?
你能不能告诉我你的儿子？这是我儿子，他是一个很懂事的孩子，他很乖，在家里都很听话。Son who knows right from wrong.
Tell me a little bit about his childhood. What kind of a child was Jason growing up?
那么 Jason 长大的时候呢，他的儿童时期是怎么样的？他在学校小学跟初中都是挺好的，很好。他们就很少去外面，都是几个人，他整个都在家里读书，回来都在家里。He is a diligent student and got along very well in school with everyone. He spent a great deal amount of time at home doing his studying.
What kind of character? I know people can be defined by a moment in their life, but prior to this incident, what kind of character would you say that Jason had or has?
那么我知道，有的时候一个人他的生命有的时候是在一瞬间就会改变的。那么 Jason 在这件事情发生以前，就是他以前，你能不能告诉我他的人格个性是怎么样的？他在家都是很好，很听话的。他读书回来都是在家里，有的时候我做餐馆都很晚回来，有的时候他在家里都帮我干家务事。So he is a very obedient child, diligent in his studies, and he will wait at home while we work very late from the restaurant business, and he will help out with housework.
Was he a violent person, a violent child?
他是不是一个有力的孩子？你再讲一次，我听不太清楚。Can you say that again? I could hardly understand what you're saying or hear you.
What was he a violent child?
他是不是一个有暴力的孩子？是的，他是一个很好的孩子。他都没有跟 very good child. 他都没有跟别人吵架，这些都是很懂事。如果我在家都跟他说：“妈妈不会英文，你要好好读书。”他说：“我知道，妈妈，你做餐馆很辛苦。” He never fights in school, never fights with anyone. He knows right from wrong. And I told him that mom doesn't know English and cannot help you in many things. He said that I will study hard and I know.
Okay, pause it for a second.
How will this situation?
Okay.
Okay. He's a piece of shit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't understand how this is a victim impact statement because he's asking her question. Like I thought that she would be up there saying a statement, but I guess she's not. He's gonna walk her through everything.
It seems like the last couple of trials, this is what's happened. You know what?
Okay, I didn't realize that that's how they did this. I thought that they get up
Neither.
there with their prepared statement, but here's the based on what she's telling me, he grew up alone. Sounds like
Yes.
with the pressure to, do well in school, be diligent in your studies. She's mentioned that more than once now. He was alone while they worked hard at the restaurant trying to give him a good life.
Mm-hmm.
He was left his own devices all the time. I don't think she knows him at all.
Oh no, I don't think she knows him.
Not at all. Even though this is her mother. I'm brokenhearted for her because no mother should, have to go through this. It's terrible. But she's calling him a good kid and a good this and good that. She's not saying anything specific about him. I don't think she knows him at all, like I said.
What
And
you know,
he basically grew up alone.
yeah, and she's not talking about him as a man. She's talking about his schoolwork.
Right. Because that's what she knows. That's what
Yes.
she wanted. Work hard, because that obviously they work hard. They're a work
Mhm.
hard family, run the restaurant, do good, work hard, keep going, keep going, keep going. Very much Evelyn. Evelyn always knows how to say what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Yes.
Cultural differences between parents and children impact the child parent relationship in ways that aren't understood, unfortunately. But
Thank you,
we can
Evan.
see it. Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate that. She always knows how to say what I'm trying to say. Uh it gives me not any softness for him, like he's a piece of shit, but I am kind of seeing like he raised himself. He grew up probably on the internet. The internet raised him. He doesn't have anything. He had no nothing. No family. All probably just nothing but pressure to do good. To work hard. Keep going. No time for talking about anything that bothers him or anything. I don't think she knows the first thing about him.
I agree. I agree with that.
All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
All right.
Change your family.
那么这件事情对于你们家庭的影响怎么样？我这个孩子，因为我们想不到他会发生这种事情，因为我们家都是比较好，我们都没有犯什么错误，我们都是好好的生活，上班赚钱，就想把两个孩子抚养长大，让他们共读书，好好学习，找一份好的工作，因为我们都很辛苦做餐馆。陈太太，您的票话。Yes, we are a law-abiding family. We teach our two children to study hard, to work hard, and to get a good job and have a good life.
See?
Mm-hmm.
How will Jason going to prison affect your family?
Jason 如果到监狱
Other than the shame it brings on your family?
Good grief.
I know.
他给我们的地方很大，我们就是希望他犯了错误在里面好好改造，然后我们也希望陪审团给他们一个好好的改过出来，因为我们真的很想他，因为他不是一个坏的孩子，他是一个很好的孩子。他都会体谅我们，妈妈也很辛苦。他经常告诉我妈妈，我会好好读书， 书的。他告诉我说：妈妈，我快毕业了，半年我就毕业了，我再去读，以后去读 master。他说我读了赚了钱，你不要去餐馆上班，很辛苦。我会好好赚钱给你，妈妈。他真的是个很好的孩子。He is actually a good kid. He told me that within half a year I will graduate, and I am going to study my master's, and I will make lots of money, and you no longer need to be working so hard in the restaurant. I hope that you will give him a chance to improve his life, and I wish the jury will give him a chance to have and not give him another chance in his life so that he can do what's right.
Is there anything that you want the family of Jasmine Pace to know sitting here
那
today?
么今天的 Jasmine Pace 他的家庭，你要跟他们怎么讲呢？我就恳求财神哥哥，我关他来给我们孩子一个开阔的机会，然后他有希望回家的盼头，就是希望他有一天可以出来回家。他不是一个坏，他是一个很好的孩子。He is a very good child. He is not a bad person. I pray.
Oh boy. God bless her.
That leads to the judge and the jury to give him a chance so that he can go home.
You're supposed to be talking to the family, ma'am.
Is there anything that you want to say to Jasmine Pace's family?
那么你跟 Jasmine Peace 他的家人，你要跟他们讲什么呢？我就是想跟他们父母讲，我孩子犯错了，他这已经也受到了惩罚，希望他的父母给他一个在里面改造一个。重新做人，有个机会出来改造后出来，有个希望，有一天也能见到我们父母。我们父母来到美国，只是不会因为真的很辛苦培养一个孩子，我们真的很辛苦。希望他们家人给我们一个，给他孩子一个。给我还是一个改造的机会，有一天出来。
Horrible.
Mm.
Will give him, my son, a chance to be out one day. And
Wow.
She doesn't. I don't think she understands.
I don't think she understands at all what's going on.
Very difficult in a country
Wow.
that we have to, without knowing English, we have to raise children in very difficult circumstances, and he is a good person. He's not a bad person. We wish that her family would allow him a chance to relive
It's
his
not
life,
up to the family, ma'am. Wow.
his situation.
Oh, ma'am.
Wow.
Can you explain to the jury why Jason should have the ability to have parole 51 years from now?
Oh, stop it. Because he's a good boy who always did good in his studies, and we work hard as a family, and we heard it all.
认为 Jason 在51%就是服刑之后呢，会有
Right, Evelyn. Because in her eyes, I think this is about, how they messed up. That's how she sees this.
是一个很好、很懂事的孩子，他的犯错也是一时的犯错，然后他就是改造了，他好好会在里面好好出来，也要让他有一天有个希望，改造后 孩子要给他一个希望出来，
And
早一
honestly,
天能够
51
出
years
来。
from now,
他不是一
is
个
he even
好
going to be
孩子，
alive?
他是一个很独立的孩子。
I mean, there's no way to know, but
I mean,
probably
honestly, he'll
not.
be almost in his 80s 51 years from now, right? So he's going to get out and be a senior citizen with absolutely no skills. Where is he going to live? His family's going to be gone. They're not going to be alive by then. He's going to have, like, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, I would prefer just keep me here. At least I'll be fed and housed for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
He's not going to have anything at 51 years from now. Then let
It's
him out.
kind of like,
He's just going to be homeless.
but I feel like she thinks possibly it can be, I feel like she thinks it can be shorter than 51 years. I don't think that she is grasping that it's not up to his family what he gets or he would be
Right.
under, and
Right.
that he's gonna, no matter what, he's gonna do 51 years.
Yes. So honestly, and he's going to get out and what? Be a good member of society in 51 years? He's not going to have a single skill.
Right. I believe they stopped a serial killer. I believe that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think you're right. I think this guy's way more dangerous than just this one girl.
Yeah.
And this mom has no idea what she's dealing
No
with.
idea because she's working all the time and she's
Right.
busy with, yeah.
And she doesn't even speak the language. I wonder what he's thinking sitting there looking at his mom fall apart on the stand. Like, what are you thinking, Jason? I'd love to know what you have to say.
He probably doesn't have very many feelings.
He is a good child. He knows right.
He's not a good child. He's not, though.
He's a bad man.
Passion. He made mistakes. And we wish
No,
that
he killed a girl.
Oh, honey, that's not a mistake. You shouldn't have said that. Oh, please hush. Quit translating. Quit translating.
60 times and then chopped her up.
and improve.
That's some repressed anger right there.
I hope that he will have hope to get out one day and relive a changed life.
No,
Yeah,
No.
she don't get it.
she doesn't understand at all what's going on. Damn.
No.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
What a hard situation for her to be in. She
I
has
know.
no idea. Yeah, pan over to him. Let's see his
Yeah, let's
stupid
look at his
face.
stupid face. Yes. Is he even crying? Is he upset at all? Heartless. Oh, can't stand him.
Oh, yeah, I guess he's crying.
Good. Look what you did to your mother. I still can't get over all that damn trash in the courtroom.
I don't understand it. I couldn't
Every
even sit at that.
I just want to go in there and clean it up.
Yeah, just move it somewhere. Somewhere where nobody can see it at least.
You don't have a
Jeez.
room anywhere back there that you can put the shit. Swear to God. All the damn garbage. No, it's recycling.
Like,
Just heaps of heaps of crap.
yeah.
I guess that's all the evidence that nobody needed. We didn't need any of this.
Mm-mm. No, all that work for nothing because she came at me with a wine bottle.
Uh-huh.
She was stabbed 60 times, Melissa. And I don't think he cut her up, but what he did do was hog tie her with handcuffs and put her in a suitcase.
And then so body limbs, oh God, like fell off or what? Like she was in pieces, right?
I don't think she was in pieces.
Then why do I think that she was in pieces? He didn't
I
dismember.
don't know.
I thought he dismembered her too.
That was that was the case before this, and it's all running together. But I don't think he dismembered her. I think at first we thought he did, but
Okay. I know that
he-
it wasn't just the other case.
oh yeah, at first. But even with her body in his apartment, he hit up other girls
Yeah,
on Tinder.
Well, no, but he had it was abuse of a corpse. He cut her up.
Well, abuse of a corpse can mean put in a body in a sick bag. Maybe he cut her.
Oh,
I don't.
Okay, all right. Maybe you're right.
And you see, I know, and this shouldn't make a difference, but it does. You see how clean cut he is right now. This is not absolutely what he looked like at all when
I
all
know.
this.
Yeah. His mugshot that they use on all the thumbnails is what he looked like at the time.
Yeah.
Now he's got his prison cut, looking all clean in his suit.
Hmm. And then I don't know. Like I can't even imagine the grief that his mom is feeling. And I know that she can't feel what the grief that the other family is feeling. She thinks she's feeling it, but she don't, because she's still gonna be able to talk to her son. She's still gonna be able to see him.
You know what else I noticed? There's not a single tear falling from her eyes.
No, I've seen some. I've seen some hit her coat.
Really?
Thank
Mhm.
you so much.
Okay.
If I could just have you raise your right hand and we'll finish this out. You solemnly swear or affirm that you have interpreted accurately, completely, and impartially, using your best skill and judgment in accordance with the standards prescribed by law, the rules of ethics, and spoken foreign language interpretation of Tennessee, that you have followed all official guidelines established by the court for legal interpreting or translating. You discharge all of the solemn duties and obligations of legal interpretation and translation in this case, as you when you translated earlier for Mrs. Chen. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you have done that, correct?
Yes, I have done that.
Thank you so much for your availability.
You're welcome.
Let me shut down. Actually, we're in this part of this.
Bless her. I feel terrible for
Mhm.
her. Poor thing. She just tried to do the best she could to raise him. She didn't know he was going to be a damn monster.
Right. And she can't ask any questions now. She can speak to no one. She doesn't know the language.
Yes.
Exactly. She doesn't have, yeah, she can't speak English. Everything she's getting is through somebody else, or just, can't even talk. I mean, he must know Chinese then, right? Or he must be able to speak to her.
Yeah.
Is it Chinese or Mandarin? I'm not sure.
Honestly, I don't know. They've never said.
Yeah. Oh, it might not even be Chinese, right? They're doing now. They have to use the Google Translate because they got rid of the interpreter.
Interpreter not. For the record, what happened was there was some concern about whether or not the witnesses' answers being translated. Ms. Wee Ralph is what the translator is, pretty much the number one Mandarin translator that's used by the administrative office of the courts throughout
Mandarin.
the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
However, Chen's mother was very upset, and her words might have come out in a way that did not perhaps communicate what she wanted to, or at least what the defense wanted to. So what we're doing is a workaround where a person is on a phone, that the defense is comfortable translating Mrs. Chen's words to the jury. So Ms. Morrison's holding a phone with the translator that the defense feels comfortable with, and hopefully the jury and the record, the jury will understand what's being said, and the record will reflect that.
I'll just let the woman down.
Miss Chen, What do you want the victim's family to know?
You can stand next to Ms. Morrison, that way you're speaking directly into the phone.
Your Honor, can we at least know the relationship between the translator and the family,
Hey,
who this is, or does it matter?
I don't know if it matters or not. The court's done its duty to provide a certified interpreter. I want Mr. Chen to be able to have the defense he wants for the translation that he wants. I believe it's intent. Okay, and all right, Mr. Chen. Okay.
Your Honor, and apparently there's a specific dialect that Ms. Chen speaks, that this interpreter can also speak.
Okay. Ms. West, you can speak clearly into the phone. Make sure the phone.
Yeah, victim's family will speak too.
Is your name Jenny Chen?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Chen, are you related to Shufeng?
Yes.
Can the jurors hear that okay? Raise your hand if it's. Can you hear? You're good.
Jenny Chen, can you please ask Shufeng Chen what, if anything, she wants the victim's family to know?
Okay.
So they're blaming that on the interpreter. They're saying that the interpreter couldn't understand her because she was so upset.
我想听到有没有陪审团和法官到开始会都给我见到的啊，
And this mom has yet to say a word to the victim's family. She can't seem to do it, other than to ask them for mercy.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason's mom, Jason's mom say, she know, he make a big mistake, and he recognize that. His mother think he's still young. He hope Julia can get more chance, take a knife with a parole.
What?
Me too.
The court reporter's all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, Pammy B. Let's end this poor woman's misery. Get her. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
He's still young, and his mom wants to, you guys can give him a chance, keep it alive with a parole because he's only 24 years old.
Thank you, Ms. Chen.
So again, nothing to the victim's family.
Right. And so the translation was correct, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with the translation. She doesn't understand that she's supposed to say something to them like, I'm so sorry. But instead, she's just begging for her own son's life.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, ma'am. Like, I'm brokenhearted for her, truly, but she doesn't get it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, bless her.
I appreciate the parties working around the interpreter's availability for this. At this point, we can start with the state. We can revert back.
But you know what I wish? I wish there was a translator there for her to hear the victims speak.
Your Honor,
That, I know. That's what I'm wondering. Like, is she going to hear any of this?
I don't think so.
close
She
with the
understood
guys who
anything that's
know
happened in this whole trial?
statement today. The first that will be called to the witness stand is Gabrielle Pace.
Wow.
Yeah. Tell us more about how he's a good boy, works hard, he's young. No, he's terrible. He's a horrible person.
Yeah.
Give him a chance. He had a whole chance. He had a chance. He ruined
He's
it.
only 24.
Yeah, the interpreter did their job just fine, ma'am. Or sir.
Yeah.
It wasn't the interpreter's problem at all.
Yeah. He just didn't like the way it was coming out.
Right. Well,
you say
because
your name for the
it was
record?
terrible. Not once she didn't say one thing to the victim
And you go by Gabby.
No.
or victim's
Gabby,
family.
how are
Excuse me.
you related to
No.
Jasmine?
I'm her older sister.
And did you prepare a statement today to read for the jury?
Yes,
Are you ready to do that?
yes.
Go ahead.
Look, they have shirts with her face on it.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Pace. I'm the older sister of Jasmine Pace. Jazzy and our two brothers, and I shared the same father but different mothers. They were raised by Katrina Bean and Scott Bean. I was raised by Stephen and Tammy. Biologically, Jasmine had 3 brothers and 1 sister, but if you were to ask Jasmine, she had many more than that, and she loved to the ends of the earth. Jazzy experienced hurt and pain at such a young age. We lost our brother Austin in 2014 from a tragic ATV accident.
Oh my gosh.
Jazzy was one of the first ones on scene and held our brother in her arms while waiting for ambulance to arrive. She is the one who called me and told me that I needed to come and say my goodbyes to my brother. We held his hand together as he took his last breath. And in July of 2020, we lost our cousin Derek to COVID. June of 2021, we lost our cousin Jayla to another tragic accident.
Oh my
Then
gosh.
December 22nd, 2022, her grandmother, who helped raise her and was her best friend, passed away from her long battle with cancer. Through all of the trauma that Jazzy had endured, she still had the most beautiful aura and soul. She never gave up on people and she never gave up on herself. No matter how hard or how busy, she always made time for family and friends because it was the most important thing to her. She had every reason to be bitter and cold-hearted, but instead chose to be warm and full of love. She wanted nothing more than to have children of her own and always talk about what kind of mother she would be. While she may not have birthed her babies, she had 4 of her children, Gucci, Miko, Athena, and baby girl, who were her absolute world. Jasmine was the greatest mom to her babies. And God knew that whatever title Jazzy had, that she would excel and become even better than she could ever imagine, and I'm extremely blessed to have had her as my sister. Jasmine was so much more than just a daughter, an aunt, a sister, a niece, a granddaughter, a godmother, and a cousin. She was a best friend, a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, a jokester, and so much more. This girl had a panda tattoo for the simple fact that it makes her smile, and a bunch of us got panda tattoos. She had probably one of the worst candy addictions I've ever seen, who thinks to dedicate not 1 but 2 dresser drawers to only candy. My youngest daughter could always count on her jaw to have the best candy ever.
That's
Jasmine
awesome.
touched the lives of
Yeah.
everyone from here all the way to Canada. If her life goal was to touch as many hearts as she could, then she succeeded. This is the life that was forcibly taken from us. I'll never forget standing at my sister's casket and seeing how much wax they had to put on her face and how much mascara was smudged all underneath her eyes and how her hair was stiff from the wax.
Hmm.
I
Oh
held
my
my sister's
gosh.
hand one last time, not even knowing that it was
They had an open casket? Oh my gosh.
I fixed her hair and her necklace, again not knowing that she had wounds there. I'll never forget the overbearing heartache I felt when I found out what he had done to my sister.
Wow.
The overwhelming anger and disgust. I felt that someone could do this and not have any remorse for what they had done.
Not even a little bit.
I had to comfort her best friends as they say goodbye to one of the most important people in their entire world. We weren't able to have an open casket because her body was so far decomposed and Jasmine would never want to be remembered that way. So many family members weren't able to say their goodbyes that day, and it will forever haunt us. I will never understand why, but it's not fair. The hole that is left in our hearts will never be filled or repaired. For 2 years, we have relived this moment over and over on how her last minutes of life, she was terrified and alone. The thought of, was there something more I could have done, constantly runs through my head. I love my sister dearly, and I demand that she gets justice that she is deserved.
Thank you, Ms. Mason.
Bless her. Wow.
Mm,
She will. She'll get the justice.
yes.
Your Honor, the state would next call Jacqueline White to represent the family.
I love this DA so much.
I do too.
Gosh, I love her. Is she a DA? I don't even know. Whatever. Prosecution. I love her. Oh, the rocks. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Is there going to be 60?
Probably.
God. Oh my God, Randy.
That's such a good way to.
Yes. Such a good way. Yes.
Hmm.
All right, Ms.
I-
White, are
I-
you ready?
Yes,
Will you state your name for the record?
Jacqueline White.
Can you describe for the jury your relationship with Jasmine Pace?
I don't even think she did all 60.
Okay, are you ready to read your statement?
I will try.
All right, thank you.
60 stones are in this jar, one to represent every
guess so.
stab wound found
Yeah.
on my beautiful, innocent 22-year-old cousin. For 2 years and 2 months, I have thought at this very moment, the moment I would have the chance to confront the subhuman villain sitting among us.
Yes.
His mere presence defiles this very court, and I am so sorry for everyone here that has had the unfortunate fate of having to cross paths with him. Thank
Wow.
you to everyone that dedicated hours, time away from their families, blood, sweat, tears, and trauma to ensure that whatever justice could be given to my family would be had. My thirst for vengeance and the rage inside of me is a two-edged sword. It serves no one but me selfishly, and it only gives this predatory sociopath the attention that he so desperately craves. Even
Wow.
worse, it makes us all lose sight of the most important thing and why we are all here, Jazzy. Her legacy, her memory. I refuse to allow this creature to erase that. I won't let you steal that the way you stole her life. Nothing I say here today will ever make any of you feel the impact of this loss on my family. If it hasn't happened to you, it isn't a pain you are even capable of fathoming. The closest you could probably get is to close your eyes, remember those photos that will forever be engraved in all of our minds, and replace her face with the face of somebody that you love. Your daughter, your sister, wife, somebody that mattered to you. Thank God every day that this wasn't them. Hug them a little bit tighter. But open your heart to hear about who she was and why this loss is so vast. Jasmine was warm. She was kind, thoughtful, loving, generous, sassy. She was beautiful on the inside as well as the outside. She was fiercely protective over her family. She would literally come running if you needed her. She was 22 but still had a childlike innocence about her. She had a tattoo on her wrist that many of us do now, a sleepy panda. It is one of the silly things that we laugh at because Katrina asked her, "Why would you get that? It's so pointless." And Jasmine's answer was, "Because every time I look down, it makes me smile. Every time I look down at mine, I now have to fight the intrusive thoughts that plague my mind. I have to force myself to remember her beautiful words and not her tiny wrist with handcuffs rusting over that tattoo."
Mm.
She wanted kids and often talked about the kind of mom she wanted to be. I can still picture how she greeted you. She would smile, dimples intact,
outstretch her arms to hug you, and not because of etiquette or decorum. It wasn't the fake one-armed, I'm going to pat you on the back because I'm supposed to. It was genuine. She meant it. The cliche, she lit up a room, is fitting for her. I often think of the last time that I hugged her. She was crying, she was hurting, and she still thought of everyone around her and their well-being. What a lot of you don't know is hours before Jasmine was murdered, we were all together saying goodbye to our beloved Granny. It was not expected. She woke up not feeling well that day. She went to the emergency room and was dead by that evening.
Oh
We
my
used to
gosh,
have
the
a joke
same
about
day?
who Granny's favorite was.
Oh my
Granny
gosh.
Jazzy always had the trump card because Granny named her restaurant after her. To say we were all close is an understatement. She was the glue that held us all together. It was a devastating loss. I remember getting the call that afternoon to come say my goodbyes. I was at work, which that day had me deep in Tryon, Georgia. I remember my route to the hospital was around an hour. I prayed that entire drive. I knew everyone I loved would be in immense pain, but I had no idea that that was the tip of the iceberg for my family. Our loss and our grief.
Wow.
I arrived last. Everyone was surrounding her bed. We stayed for hours waiting on the inevitable. She was no longer coherent, so we made small talk and tried to make each other laugh. I remember Jasmine commenting on my cup. I had a Starbucks cup with a flower topper. I told her I really wanted the mushroom one, but they were sold out. It was only after she went missing that my mother told me that day at the hospital, she went online and ordered me that cup. I remember them moving her room. I left to get food with my brother. When we arrived back, I saw Jasmine crying outside alone. We went to comfort her. She dried it up immediately and brought up Thanksgiving. Remarkably, even through her own pain, she was so focused on everyone else, doing something kind like ordering a cup for me, or taking burdens off of our mothers during a painful time. Jesse pointed out that our moms would not want to get together or cook for Thanksgiving. She said we have to make them. She offered to bring whatever we needed and suggested we handle the details. She insisted that we keep that tradition because it's what Granny would have wanted. We made plans and God laughs though, because Jasmine would never be at another Thanksgiving. I texted her at 8:49 the morning after we lost Granny. I asked her if she was okay. He responded, I just need some time alone after everything that happened. I have so many questions that torture my mind. One of them is, what were you doing for the hour and 12 minutes before you pretended to be the girl you murdered and responded to her family concern for her? It goes quiet after you changed her passwords, her bank, her socials. Were you cleaning? Were you sleeping? Where was her body for all that time? The suitcase? The floor next to your bed? The emotional exchange that neighbor claimed to have heard prior to you chasing her and her sending her mother an SOS pin? Was that her begging for her life? What were her last words? How are you such a coward that you have to bind a 98-pound innocent female, giving her no chance of even fighting back? That question, interestingly enough, brings me some comfort, knowing how weak, impotent, and scared you are.
Yes.
I know your new counterparts in prison will get a sick enjoyment out of being able to overpower you the same way that you did to her. The same way that you relished in her fear, torturing her, her pain, someone will have those feelings at your expense.
Wow.
I find peace knowing that you will never again in your life have warm, loving human contact, though you will have plenty of physical contact, I'm sure of that.
Oh,
Damn. I'm eager to tell you that while you were trying your best to look down and not get excited by the photos of my dead cousin, your mother was hyperventilating alone in a corner outside. If I were spiteful, I would remind you that your last victim, Jason, is your own family.
Yep.
You didn't just take Jasmine. You took your family's hopes, dreams, privacy. You took their son. You replaced it with shame. You cost them thousands and thousands of dollars that could have been spent on their other children, the ones that aren't rotten to the core.
Wow.
I pray for your mother.
If my son were capable of doing what you have, I would constantly look for the signs I missed and the ways that I failed, although this is not her fault. But I am not here to talk about you. I am supposed to speak on how your wicked, demonic choices affected us. The roller coaster of losing your grandmother and then searching for your cousin only to find she was taken in the most horrific manner is more than anyone can bear. We have had to wait years for justice because you are such a coward that you refuse to take responsibility. It just solidifies what you are, not that any of us had a single doubt.
Wow.
Being forced to sit in a room with a sadistic animal that murdered someone dear to you is something I would only wish on my worst enemy, you. I look at my family, my circle, my people. I don't recognize any of us. It is a harrowing place to be when someone you love and have admired your entire life is screaming, "Why would God do this? What did she ever do to deserve the life she had or to be murdered by someone she trusted?" The silence that filled that room because none of us had anything to offer haunted me. For weeks, I had to find something to say for comfort, even if my heart didn't yet believe it. I had to tell a mother that God was nowhere when her child was taken, that the enemy has come to steal, kill, and destroy, and he used this parasite as a vessel to serve that agenda.
Wow.
I used to believe that my granny was taken on that day so that we all got to hug Jasmine and have our last words to one another be, "I love you." I know when she made it to heaven, not only was her brother there to greet her, so was Granny. Jasmine was only 22, but she had a lot of pain in her young life. Her biological father abandoned and rejected her. He broke her heart long before any man ever could.
Wow.
Her 14-year-old brother passed away when she was 16. He had an ATV accident that she sadly had to help pull off of him before watching him die. She lost her grandmother and then her life at the hands of someone she went to for comfort. She overcame so much, and she still chose every single day to have a trusting heart and a kind soul. Jasmine was a fitting name for her. The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. There are no words that I could say about her to make any of you grasp that if you didn't know her, but I would like to read some of her own from her journal. I pray that her words help you to understand that she was remarkable, truly. The void of her loss will never be filled. Every smile, every memory we make, every accomplishment, holiday, birth, the big moments for our family will always have an undercut of sadness because she isn't here. We have a life sentence of pain due to Jason Chen's actions. We will never wake up and have a chance to put this behind us. It will be with us every single day until we leave this earth. It is embedded in our DNA. He should have the same life sentence we bear. He should never be allowed to leave prison and start his life over or put this behind him. There has never been one shred of regret, humanity, or normalcy shown from this empty-eyed beast. He is beyond saving.
Agree.
Ten 28/2014. This is her journal. My daddy is taking me shopping tomorrow. I'm so glad I have you, even though you are not my biological father. You have been my dad since I was 5 years old. You have been through thick and thin with me and my family. I appreciate you more than you could ever know. I can never pay you back, and I will always love you so much for everything you have given me, including my handsome baby brother, Aiden. You have made my mom so happy, and I love you. 12/19/2019. Austin, her brother. Do you miss me like I miss you? I doubt it. I know heaven would never allow that kind of pain behind its gates. I wonder what you think when you see me. Do you smile looking down on me? Or do you shake your head? I hope I make you proud.
The sky has been so much prettier since you made it up, and I hope the angels know what they have. Granny, I want you here with me more than anything, but I understand if this fight is too hard on you and you yearn to rest. I love you enough to let you go, and I want you to know that it's okay. Thank you.
You only have 1 minute.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did, call him everything he is, man. Weak.
She did.
One member that would like to make a statement is Travis Pace.
Hi, Sandy.
Hey, Sandy. Yes, it is sad. I don't know why we put ourselves through this every time, but we do.
I know.
Time to come to another broken-hearted stream. We can't help it. It's like I feel like we owe the family.
Yeah.
Mr. Pace, the jury is familiar with you, but can you state your name for the record?
Travis Pace.
And
Oh,
you are Jasmine's biological father, is that correct? Did you prepare a statement for the jury today?
I did.
Are you ready to read that? Okay.
Oh, that's her biological father.
The guy that abandoned her.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh dear, that's not good. They don't get along with him, I don't think.
For me, the impact of Jasmine really started when she was born. It's a funny story that the doctor that we had at the time and the ultrasounds that we had at the time, he said, I don't do this very often, but I would bet the farm it's a boy. And
Whoops.
we began thinking about what boy names we were going to give eventually Jasmine. And we're working at a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and we're going through who we think she's going to become. How she got the name Jasmine Nicole Pace. Most likely with her parents, she was probably going to turn out dark-skinned, long dark hair, and gorgeous. She was. So we thought Aladdin's Princess Jasmine would kind of be who she looked like when she would be born. She kind of did. But we thought about if she becomes powerful and professional and strong, maybe Jasmine's not good for a corporate boardroom meeting or an attorney's office or something. She needs an alternate name that might actually represent, if she chose to be called by Nicole. Wow. Maybe it sits well in a boardroom or something. And so we were thinking about how beautiful she would be, but how powerful she would be. When she was born. She walked early. She crawled early. She spoke early. Before she was 1 year old, she was already reading and writing and speaking in English, Spanish, and German.
Wow.
Yeah.
We created a saying as Shella's father. I could imagine how gorgeous she was going to turn out. and how her looks could probably give her certain advantages. And we made up this slogan, what makes us the most beautiful? And her reply, which was rehearsed, our heart.
I'll be right back.
Heart, Daddy.
Okay.
You're going to be beautiful with hair and all your features, but what makes us most beautiful? Our heart. And as she grew up to become a person, it was her heart that ended up being the most beautiful. We immediately saw how clever she was, how intelligent she was. We went to a fair and we would eat the cotton candy. And at that time, you put a balloon with a little ribbon, and they can move their arm and the balloon moves and they punch it or do different things. Because it was after dark, we weren't going to give her candy for sleeping reasons and stuff like that. And she threw a fit over this candy, which seems to be consistent throughout the rest of her life. So we had a plastic bag with a handle that had the cotton candy bag in it. And she was so short and small, she couldn't pull the bag off the handle. But her genius showed up. She opened the bag off the door, put the balloon under the baggie, and let the balloon rise over the bag and yanked the balloon in the bag of candy off. Nobody teaching her how to do that. Her instincts were that good at 2 years old. At 3, she had her brother Travis, nicknamed Austin. And he had his first birthday and his birthday cake. And there's this gorgeous picture of her standing right beside him as if she's going to eat his face to try to get to the cake. But she ended up feeding it to him instead. And the ingredients for it were on the opposite side of the kitchen. And she took her high chair and slid it 30 feet across the room, turned the high chair backwards, crawled through the legs, flipped over to the top of it, opened the cabinets, climbed up to the third cabinet where she was dangling and reaching for candy that she couldn't see. Fierce, determined, successful. From the beginning, we gave her chores. She would have a little pop, pop, pop broom that you just run it across the carpet and it pop, 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 pop. So when we would vacuum, she would vacuum. When we would load dishes, she would want to play dishes. When we would do the trash, she would want to do the trash. And this moment came, why are we letting her pretend to do fake trash, fake dishes? Jasmine, would you like to put this cup right here in the dishwasher? This plate right here in this one section? Because she was learning blocks and triangles and circles and squares. She knew geometry, so she could start literally loading the dishwasher. And her little broom was just enough where she could dump off pieces of trash into the garbage can. And she didn't pretend to play house. She was actively a part of the family that was sweeping and cleaning and loading the dishwasher and feeding her brother. It was a privilege. To watch her grow up, what her potential was going to be. It's been said I was military and deployed a lot. I was gone a lot.
No, it said you abandoned her.
Every year. from
This would be a good
Thanksgiving
time to
through
own
New
your shit.
Year's, to take the 30 days of vacation and be here in Chattanooga. and get
I wonder if
lunch
that's why they read that part of the
and
journal
our friends and our
about her
family
daddy.
grew up together.
Yeah, I'd say
We
so.
married at the same time, had kids at the same time, and our kids grew up. You go through high school. She went to Canada to be with an extended part of her family in Canada. And we had to do a lot more phone conversations, obviously, from Canada. And in high school, her focus was to be a business major, to get her master's, her MBA. The college that she was looking into was Chicago Business School. We were talking about what it would take to get the GPA right, to get the volunteer, to get the accolades, to get a scholarship, or to get a ride, to figure that out. That was some of her thoughts that she was thinking while she was in high school, while being an amazing sister.
Hey, Schmatt.
She was the type of sister that she always had extra. She saved, and she saved. And you would think that she saved to keep it. She really did save it to hand it to all of her cousins, to all of her brothers and sisters. They would all go to her, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? Can I have this? Can I have that? And she had a drawer of anything that you wanted to have, money, clothes, candy. She saved everything and had it available for everybody, and they came to her for that. She would have been 16 years old. Yeah, she definitely was. She was 16 years old. And she had a 14-year-old brother, her younger brother, same one. And the type of person that Jasmine was, she heard about the wreck on a four-wheeler and that her brother was hurt. And she was the first on the scene. She laid in a grass field holding her 14-year-old brother.
Wow. Yeah.
And stayed with him through all the surgeries. She didn't make it. But she was the one in the room holding the hand. The amount of courage and bravery that it takes to lay in the field with your brother, remarkable. As she got closer to graduation, her family has a very successful company, and it was an easy option for her to be a part of that company. And
I really think he is up there trying to prove how much well he knew his daughter since they made those comments. You see what I'm saying?
I know. Sadly, it's tainted, what he's saying now,
Yeah.
because we know, that he obviously didn't. The family doesn't
Participate.
like him, clearly, and they alluded to that during his testimony, that he doesn't get along with her mom and that side of the family, obviously.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. It feels like, though, at a time such as this, he seems to be willing to put it aside. Why can't they? You know what I mean? I don't know, but we don't know. I don't know their history. I don't know what he's done to them.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's in pain. And if he wasn't in her life, like they said, he abandoned her.
Right.
Then he's
But
lost
we
what
know,
he could have.
but we
Hadn't
know that he went in there gun drawn, ready to kill somebody for her. We know that. So,
exactly.
I don't know what kind of dad he was. Maybe he wasn't a very good dad, but he seems like a halfway decent man.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good statement. Good statement.
Yeah.
You could see at 18 years old, 19, 20, 21, 22, she's on the phone with contractors and renting equipment and staging operations and moving pieces around for her family business that it's possible she would have inherited and continued to run. It's been said that it's so vital how much she talked about and thought about what mother she would be, and the children and the grandchildren. And it's not like Jasmine was the only person we lost. We lost her children. We lost her grandchildren. The entire family tree has been cut down. It will not just affect us for 50 years. For the next thousands of generations, we will no longer have that piece of our family. We will no longer see a successful businesswoman run her company, her family's company. We will no longer see the glue of a sister and a cousin be the provider for everybody around her. We're supposed to talk about impact statements. As a father, or even as any parent or loved one, we kind of think about what could you imagine is the worst case scenario ever. Maybe one of those would be a 5-foot girl that weighs less than 100 pounds would literally have one hand taken out of the fight and to be so methodically restrained that her weak side and her weak hand would be used. With the breaking of the shackle and with seeing multiple strikes to the hand, she endured multiple attempts to fight with everything that a 5-foot, 100-pound girl could do. Till her lung was punctured, she ran out of breath, till a gallon of blood was spilled, and she ran out of blood. She is the epitome of fighting with everything within you.
Oh, wow. That's
Cody is right. This is not going to be a trial where we're going to talk about a certain name. And it's not only a trial that we're honoring Jasmine Nicole Case. This has now become a statement. Justice for Jazzy still lives on. Her death, her sacrifice continues through that phrase, through the idea of what it means to so many people for different reasons. And why her candle, her light was definitely taken. It didn't end there, and it has now spread through the hearts and minds of so many people that are affected by what happened to her. There is both negative impact and also good impact. I don't know what it's going to be like for other people to move forward. But at random, like Jackie perfectly pointed out, at random, we try to relive what those 3 to 5 minutes must have been like. Where were they standing? What actually got said? What was the first clue? At what point does she grab a phone and drop a pen? At what point is she restrained? At what point is she helpless? At what point is she hopeless? Which could be at work. Could absolutely have nothing to do with this moment. And then in the midst of work, that's your very next thought. We sit at a family function, and her dimples, and her smile, her laugh, which was contagious, is absence in the room. And it's a vacuum. You really know the absence is gone. I think we're supposed to talk about the impact this has had with the attempt to paint her character, who she was, and what we've lost, so that you would consider sentencing if 50 years seems reasonable. To take her future family, kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, to take her away from the family business, to take her away from the brothers and the sisters and the aunts and the uncles and the cousins. Couldn't possibly be enough.
Wow.
That's the state's case.
The additional proof.
Can you imagine how angry he was to be called by the defense?
No.
I can't even imagine. how he must have felt when they said his name.
And I thought he just did a great job.
Yes, he
I
did.
mean, I don't know how I don't know how he could get that out.
I bet he's even surprised that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cousin as well.
Yes.
That read all that.
She did a fantastic job too. It's so heartbreaking.
And I hate. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I want to know, of course, as always, why? Why?
I know. Like there is some why. Like, is there a why that would make any sense? No.
Did you? Yeah, you just planned on killing her because you wanted to see what it was like to kill someone. You're a psycho.
Right.
The only remorse you've had so far seems like is for yourself.
Yeah. And the shame you're bringing on your family. He said that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think about those intrusive thoughts that he was talking about. Like, you know, for one moment he'll just be at work, and then the next moment he'll be wondering, you know, how she felt, how long, you know, all the things that he just said that I don't even know that I could say again, because they were so dang heartbreaking. And I, you know, and I think I feel like that's forever, right? He's gonna do that forever.
Oh yeah.
Pammy B, first, I know it's going to sound strange, but I feel like we owe it. We owe it to the families. You know, we sit here and cover these trials, and we didn't cover this one all the way, I know, but we did talk about it. We sit here and we cover these trials, and for me, just me, I feel like we owe it to the families to hear them and remember that this is real. These are lives. These are lives. Her life mattered. And maybe, you know, we get to know her a little, you know, and feel like I don't know. It's heart-wrenching. It is. But it makes me think deeper about
the victims.
The things that we're covering. Yeah, it does. Just makes me think deeper about them. So, I mean, that's my deal. I know that not everybody's going to feel that way. So I don't, you know, blame you if you don't want to watch this part. I don't blame you at all. Like, please, you know, consider your own mental health. Protect your own intrusive thoughts. But that's what it is for me. Why do you do it?
The same reason. Yeah, I think because I think it's kind of like if people who just do true crime, you know, of course we don't claim that we're that, but sometimes you kind of dehumanize the victim because you're talking about you're usually talking about the defendant more than the victim.
Yeah.
And then you don't even really know who the victim really was or what their family's going through. I think it's important to listen to this part, and you know, if for me, I don't, you know, but I don't blame the people who don't. I don't.
Oh, same for sure. I mean, because people are dealing with their own struggles, their own tragedies, in their own lives, you know. And if this is something that you can't handle, there's no shame in that, none. And I don't even pretend to know, you know, whether someone can handle this or not. I don't even know when I can barely handle it. So if it's something you got to step away from, please do. No offense at all will be taken. And it's okay. And I would be watching this whether we were live or not. I would be watching this.
Yeah, I would too.
But
I would just have it on my TV instead of my computer.
Right. I would just have it on and watch it myself. But I figured since we covered some of this case at least, and we watched the verdict and all of that other people might be interested in the victim impact statements as well.
We definitely want to hear the sentence.
Same. Yeah, I really want to hear the sentence too. Although I can't imagine that it's going to be anything other than life without parole. Just lock him up, throw him away. The cousin, was it the cousin who was talking about, how he's going to be, the victim of people in jail? Like, damn. She didn't even hold back a little.
Yeah.
I was
She got out her notebook and she did a great job.
She did. I was surprised that she could get away with saying stuff like that, though. I was damn. But I guess you could say
I don't know. I've heard some pretty big, bold statements,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess you're allowed to say whatever you need to say, huh?
Yeah. One of the Parkland shooter, when those parents gave their victim impact statements, you felt them. You felt them, and you felt the rage.
And that's what that young boy, right, that shot up the school?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, he was awful. And I hated his whole defense team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Weren't they a bunch of slimy fucks too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't like them at all. And I loved that judge. I thought she was fantastic.
Yep.
Yes. Their impact statements were very impactful. Yes. I remember listening to those too. I felt every word of
there's
those.
one. I think that the man's name, was it Miguel? I could see his face. He said, "Now you have to be afraid of me."
Yes.
Because he was saying kind of, I have reach in there,
Nice.
And
yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Sorry. Not even sad about it. Love that.
No, I wasn't sad. I wouldn't.
Fuck him.
No, because the little Parkland shooter, he got in that room and tried to pretend to be crazy and like he didn't know, like he didn't make a whole video saying, I'm about to do this and become famous or infamous or whatever he said.
Yeah. Well, and his attorneys, they were assholes.
Yeah.
Right? They're sitting there laughing at the table. Right?
Yeah, and they were seated really close to the family. And they complained about the family being upset with the shooter. Well, hello.
Of course they're going to be upset. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I just couldn't stand that team.
Yeah.
That whole lawyer team. And the judge was even pissed at them.
Well, that one lawyer brought up the fact that whether or not the judge had children, and she admonished him out, and yeah.
Oh yeah, she threw him straight out the courtroom or whatever. She told him to go sit in the back.
Yeah, he had to go sit in the back.
Yeah, and then his boss comes up and he's like, "That's what we've been dealing with this whole time." No, get out of here. Get out of here. Your client shot up a school. Shut up.
I agree, Florida Gray. That's because in a trial, it all goes towards the defendant.
Right. It's true. I mean, and honestly, it has to, so that we can get the justice. They can get the justice that they deserve. So we've got to know, like, what did he do, and what's he like, and what all this focus on him. But now that part is done, and we can focus on her now, where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I'm glad for that. Stop talking about him. Don't care. Don't care what happens to you. Go away. Throw away the key.
Yeah, and I feel like his mom is gonna feel somehow that her son was wronged when he doesn't get parole.
Yeah, she doesn't understand what the hell's going on. She can't understand this, I don't think. I mean, they asked her 3 times to say something to the family, and she couldn't manage a word. Not a word to them.
Wait, and I don't think he spoke to her before this. It seems like the attorney would have spoken to her before he got her up there and asked that. Then she would have maybe understood what he was.
Right. I mean, did he not obviously explain like what the purpose of her going up there was? Someone has to be sorry. My God, your son's not. Can
Yeah.
you? Can someone be sorry for this?
I agree, Stadius. Yeah, I was talking to Meech this morning about the trial next month and stuff, and I told him, I said, because he's like, don't you think murder is dark and this that? I'm like, that doesn't bother me. The other thing that the other trial, the first trial, is obviously what is, but
What?
I feel like we're
Are you talking about Stefan and his first trial?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're a little bit desensitized to murder because, like, you just turn on YouTube in the morning, you'll see who died last night. I mean, there's
Yeah.
hundreds.
Yeah. I mean, it is something that we honestly, and it's a blip on the news. It's a blip on the radar type of thing. It's not even it's almost like not even a deal anymore.
Yeah.
So, maybe we do get a little desensitized to this stuff.
Oh, I
But
think they do.
I think these impact statements help with that,
Yeah.
to remind ourselves what this is about.
I think so too. But I think if we're gonna do stuff like this, we have to be desensitized, sheesh.
Well,
A little
because
bit.
we have to protect our mental health too, sadly, and like we've got to be able to, I don't know, say, get through this kind of stuff. If we're going to
Yeah.
talk about it, we're going to have to be able to get through it. Not that it's, completely ever easy, but
Yeah. I'm looking forward to tonight for y'all that are here over on One Wind's channel. We're going over the Karen Reed case, which now I'm really just dying to go to Boston.
Randy's all in now. We got Randy hooked.
Yeah, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Because Babodi's someone who I respect
Very
wholeheartedly.
much. Yes, I saw Babodi left a
Yeah.
comment. I did see that. Said that Karen is guilty the house,
Mhm.
and this new trial is going to show that. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready to hear it. I don't know. I mean, if this was like, so she murdered him like that? Really, that's what she did. She murdered him. I'd love to know how.
Right.
And if they could prove it now, why couldn't they prove it in the last trial?
Well, good question. I don't know. From what I saw last night, they've proven nothing. So
Right.
maybe I'll learn more tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna go over their key evidence that they had and like highlights from the first trial. I figured that's a good place to go.
Yeah.
And then I guess tomorrow we'll get into Proctor. That's the stuff that's really going to piss you off.
Mm.
That Proctor stuff was bad. The stuff that he was saying about her is just a piece of shit. And I think he's getting in trouble. I think that they're about to have there's some kind of hearing or something for him right now. Coming soon or happening pretty much now. To punish him for, everything that came out at the trial.
Good.
Yeah, and he deserves it. It was ridiculous.
Oh, come on, y'all. Y'all have had long enough break.
I
Let me
know,
see
what
how
do we
far
yeah,
behind we are.
speed it up.
I actually did forget that we were behind. So there's that.
Yeah, that worked out nicely.
Sorry, y'all.
No, that's good. That's why we do it. These breaks, man. And we still haven't heard from the rest of Ken's family either. Wonder how many more.
Oh, wow.
Are they calling more of his family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Sir, just get down. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
These I don't care to hear. Okay, fuck off. Don't care. I don't want to hear about how your son's a good boy. Don't care.
Raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. You saw, yeah.
Mr. Weiss, you stand, make sure the translator hears your
Are you the father of Jason Chen?
You're not the hero, no, yes.
Is there anything you want to say to the family of Jasmine Chase?
Oh no, we're trying this again.
We understand your hurt and we are so sorry for your loss.
You don't understand their hurt. Shut up. How dare you say that?
Thank you.
Okay, that's why they got him back up there, because they needed somebody to speak to the family. That's
Somebody needs to say sorry. Exactly. Somebody needed to say sorry. So I guess he did. Thanks so much. You know they prepped the hell out of him. How sad.
That's what they've been focusing on while the victim, they were given.
How ridiculous and sad is that? They had to prep this whole family to even say sorry. Get out of here.
Trial on count one is stated in these instructions, and it is your duty to carefully consider all the instructions. The order in which these instructions are given is no indication of their relative importance. You should not single out any one or more.
He shouldn't have had to have done it, though. His sorry ass son should have. Oh,
I know. He's the only one who was willing to even do it, but it was still ridiculous.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, first degree premeditated murder of Jasmine Face, as charged in count 1, President 315228.
Judge, God, speak up.
Within the limits prescribed by law, the penalty that shall be imposed as punishment for that offense.
Mumble, 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 mumble.
Possible sentences for the offense of first degree murder include imprisonment for life and imprisonment for life without possibility of parole. In this case, the state is seeking a sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole on count 1.
Right, Sidious. What a waste of time.
I feel. Did I accidentally rewind?
I hope not.
No.
But he's already read this to them, so I can see why you think. Just let him go. You know they'll be back in 10 minutes.
You are authorized to weigh and consider any statutory aggravating circumstance that has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that's how they ended. Wow.
Including the guilt finding phase.
Completely on par with the rest of their strategy.
That's true.
The sole and exclusive judges of the credibility of the witnesses and the way to be given to the evidence. In addition, the jury is the sole judge of the facts and of the law as it applies to the facts in this case. In arriving at your verdicts, you are to consider the law in connection with the facts. The court is the proper source in which you are to get the law. In other words,
dang, I'm sorry. I'm all heated now. I'm pissed. I can't believe. I cannot believe that. God.
Let's see if we can bump some of this. Please don't let me get to the end and him still reading. Okay. Okay.
Consider for your, in your deliberations. One, the defendant is a U.S. citizen. The other is that the defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity.
Briefly. Y'all's decision. What do you think? Should he have the ability to get out of prison is the question that you now have to ask yourself. We're not going to go back through the proof. You've heard it. You know it very, very well. But I do want to talk to you for a second about life without the possibility of parole. In the legal system, we refer to it as LWOP. The state of Tennessee is not always entitled to seek life without the possibility of parole. You've heard now that there have to be aggravating circumstances present for the state to even ask a jury to find life without the possibility of parole. In this case, it's very simple. Tennessee state law allows life without the possibility of parole if the murder was especially heinous or atrocious or cruel, in that it involved torture or serious physical abuse beyond that necessary to produce death. And then it goes on to define those terms. I hate that I even have to say this, but if he was going to kill her like he did, he could have done it in other ways. He could have killed her in other ways where we would not be here for this sentencing hearing. If he would have shot her and left her in his apartment, we wouldn't be here for life without the possibility of parole. It doesn't qualify under this aggravating circumstance. If he would have stabbed her once or twice and left her in his apartment, we wouldn't be here. It doesn't qualify under this aggravating circumstance. He chose not to do that. He chose repeatedly the amount of stones that were in that glass vase to stab her and slice her. And then he chose more physical abuse. I think we can all agree that stuffing her in garbage bags in a suitcase is additional physical abuse on top of what was necessary to kill her. The medical examiner said that she could have lived for minutes, that even the wound to the neck would not have instantly killed her. That is heinous and atrocious and beyond what was necessary to kill her. That is cruel. That is vile. The entire case is vile. I feel terrible for Jason's family. It is very sad to see his mom up there on that witness stand. Shame on him.
Yes.
He didn't just do this to Jasmine's family. It is horrible to watch that he did it to his own family. I can't even fathom what they must feel like. But I want you to ask yourself something. Did you see or feel legitimate, genuine remorse for the Pace family?
No.
Did you?
Not even a little.
Does it make it better that he was privileged? That he had parents and a brother that cared about him? That he's been a, quote, good kid? He was a good child? No mental health conditions we've heard about? No issues? He was a student? Does that make it better or does that make it worse? I think that makes it a lot worse.
Yeah.
Because there are kids in our communities that have hard lives, that struggle with drugs, with mental health issues, that grew up in bad homes, that had hard life. That's not him. He took everything his family had given him and he squandered it and he ruined the Pace's life. That doesn't make it better. It makes it worse.
Wow. Yes.
All we are asking is that he never gets out of prison. Jasmine Pace never got out of that suitcase until she was in a coffin, in which her family members had to testify today that there had to be so much wax on her body. She was unrecognizable. That is heinous and atrocious and cruel. Period.
I love how she talks to the jury.
Just like yesterday.
Yeah.
We asked that you
Well,
go
what do you
back there,
think?
talk about it, make the right decision, and make sure he never gets out of prison. Thank you.
Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Love her. Yeah. What do you got to say, big boy?
I know that you sat through a long trial, and I know there's things, I think the state tried, you saw things that you won't forget, I won't forget. I want to tell each and every one of you, thank you for your time, your patience, your consideration. But you're tasked with a profound and somber responsibility in this part of the trial.
Oh boy.
You get to decide whether Jason gets life with parole or never be released. Both options are severe and a significant punishment. I think it reflects the seriousness of the case, but it's critical that you remember that every tragic crime has equal magnitude under the law. Your duty today is not to ensure punishment. It's to make sure it's also proportionate. I've spoken with many victims' families. They don't care if you're shot or stabbed or strangled or drowned or any of one of those things. Every single murder is especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. General
Okay.
Moyle talked to you about that yesterday. Every murder is emotional. There's always a family that loses someone. General Wamp is right. The Pace and the Bean family lost a very important person. It's tragic, sad. And I agree, the Chen family have lost a child too. There's two families hurting. It's important to know that the law distinguishes crimes that are inherently tragic with those that rise to the most egregious levels of brutality, deserving permanent condemnation. The question you must ask yourself when you're back in that jury room is whether or not this case reaches that threshold. Does it rise to the level that Jason Chen, a 73-year-old man, be forever denied an opportunity to demonstrate remorse, rehabilitation, and redemption?
Yes, it does.
Jason will face the consequences of his actions. He's been convicted. But the question is, are you willing to grant him the hope of redemption?
Nope.
In 51 years, Jason will be an old man. He won't have the ability to harm society. Life with parole is not a guarantee of release. It's a narrow and difficult path. It requires a demonstration of transformation, accountability, and change.
He's not
It
wrong.
acknowledges that punishment is necessary.
Yeah, I know.
51
Our
years from
society
now,
values
that
the
guy's not going to
possibility
be able to
of
do anything.
rehabilitation.
Well, and when he
Our
goes up for
justice
parole, he's going to
system
have to say,
does
"Yes, I
not
did
only
it."
measure how we treat the most virtuous
And
and
I'm so
innocent
sorry.
among us,
Yeah.
but also a reflection of how we treat the condemned. Dostoevsky once wrote, "The degree of civilization in a society is revealed by entering its prisons." By allowing Jason the possibility of parole, we affirm our society's belief that the most condemned among us can strive to rebuild their humanity.
No. Nope.
You're not tasked with forgiving Jason Chen or even excusing his actions. You are tasked with ensuring justice, a justice tempered with mercy, not because Jason deserves it, but because it's a reflection of our humanity as a whole.
Oh, good. So now they're inhumane if they don't give him mercy.
Right.
Yes, that you give Jason the opportunity, and a 73-year-old man, to seek this redemption. Let him spend the next 5 decades behind bars, reflecting on the choices that he made when he was 22 years old. And only then, if he can demonstrate true remorse and true rehabilitation, let society consider whether he can return. A life sentence with the possibility of parole is still a life sentence. It's not leniency, it's accountability. And it's paired with the belief that justice must allow room for hope. By sentencing Jason to life in prison with the possibility of parole, you honor the principles of our justice system. You honor justice. You honor humanity. And most importantly, you honor the possibility of redemption.
Wow. I don't know how you sleep at night, sir.
Mm-mm.
Ridiculous. Now they're inhumane if they don't give him this.
Now take the case, consider all the evidence fairly and impartially, complete the verdict form, and report your verdict to the court. We now retire from the jury room for deliberations.
I assume they're going to come back with life without parole. I just am assuming that, but obviously I could be wrong. But even without that, he's never getting out of jail.
No.
51 years from now, he won't even know his own name. I'm sorry. I don't think people can survive 51 years in jail. Like, aren't there statistics that show things like that? Like, I don't even think he'll be alive.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think he should get without parole. I don't think he should ever be up for it, but just because, I mean, look how many times Diane Downs has went in front of the parole board, and she never tells the truth, so she never gets parole. Ever.
Yeah.
Because she sticks with the lie. Of course, he didn't even stick with his lie. He told from the beginning.
Right.
Right in the middle of this case, they were just like, nah.
Yeah. Because they couldn't prove anything they said they were going to try to prove.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Did they even find a broken wine bottle? No. A broken wine glass? No.
They didn't put on a defense at all.
No. I'm telling you, that prosecutor, she's a mic drop type person. I love her. She's
I
good.
love her too. I think she's fantastic. Yeah. I love when she gets up. She's like, well, what do you think? Love that.
Yeah.
That.
And there's somebody in there wanting to say, I think this is bullshit.
Bullshit. That's what I think. That's right. And she'd be like, yep. Right. Bullshit. Yeah. That's absolute crap. I have a feeling they'll come back with life without parole. I mean, I would imagine, especially how fast they came back with the verdict. Like, they know. I can't believe that he called them inhumane. If they don't, that's pretty ridiculous. But whatever.
Yeah.
I guess he has to say something. That's been my attitude from this guy, or about this guy from the jump. I guess he has to say something.
Yeah. What do you say when this is your job?
Right. He's got to come up with something, I guess.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit of a defense, but okay.
Hey, please.
I know.
I don't know. I just
I'll be your best friend. I mean, I don't know. Like, what? He's got to try to say something, I guess. But what a waste, man.
Another one that drew the short straw.
Completely. I wonder, is he a public defender? Or his parents paid for this lawyer?
Well, they said that he had costed his parents a lot of money, so I assume they hired him. If they hired him, then I think they did a bad job. They probably just answered 1-800 lawyer on
Probably.
their.
Well, and I mean, how do you defend this? There's no defense for this.
No.
He gave them nothing. They had nothing. They had absolutely nothing to work with.
Yeah, people who have nothing to hide, hide nothing. Therefore, they don't put a body in a suitcase and hide it.
Right.
That's why I'm curious. I see that
Why didn't
Surviving the
he?
Survivor is live about the sheriff that shot the judge.
Yeah.
And I wonder what does he know? What does he know? Because
Well, pipe in there. Let's see what he's got.
you think we should? I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want him to.
Well, just for a minute.
Because again, what that sheriff didn't hide anything. He just went there and shot him.
Yeah. I know. So he obviously, I don't know, like he obviously, to me, there's only a handful of reasons why you would do that. There's got to be something that happened with his family or something with it. You know what I mean? Like that's very crime of passion behavior.
Yeah.
Determine whether or not you are competent to stand trial currently. Do you know who the judge is? Are you able to assist your defense lawyer? Do you know who the prosecutor is? Do you understand the charges against you? And I think the defense really wasn't asking for that mental evaluation. The judge decided to go ahead and do that. They're really asking for an evaluation on responsibility or sanity at the time of the offense. Now, that's different. That's simply, do you know right from wrong at the time you committed the crime? Or did you suffer from some mental disease or defect or diminished capacity due to emotional distress? So it looks to me like the defense was asking to go straight to the responsibility.
All right, so hold on. See if we can zoom in. Is he smiling here maybe a little?
Let me see. Well, what is that picture from?
That's the sheriff that's shooting the judge. There's the gun.
Oh, and the judge is smiling. Yeah.
He looks, like he's smiling. Like he has no idea that. Hey, he thinks he's joking?
Oh God, I have no idea. There's so many things I have questions about with this case.
Me too. Me too.
Time of the crime part of it, the judge decided to go on ahead and also have him evaluated for competency now to stand trial. So
of course, coming in at this point, we don't know what they're talking about. I think this is just assumptions of why. No insider info.
Let it play for a little bit.
Huh?
I said that's okay. Let it play for a little bit. Or no?
Well,
not.
Yeah, we just got to be careful.
Health expert to do an evaluation, and when the prosecutor heard that, his response was, well, they need to go on ahead and do their evaluation and produce a report so that then our expert can review that report and do their own evaluation. And so that's what the prosecutor was asking for. The defense wanted the opposite. They wanted to have the evaluation done at KCPC and then let their expert review that and respond. So you kind of have a back and forth over who's going to have to go first. It sounds like the judge said, we're going to go on ahead and do the evaluations at KCPC for both competency and responsibility. So that's where it's headed. And a time frame, I would think 30 to 90 days, probably somewhere in there, they ought to be able to get that done.
All right. So you're hearing 30 to 90 days on the competency here. And there's a question here, General, back to you. Why would the judge want the bond hearing in person? Other stuff has been on Zoom. Why specifically that in person?
If I'm defense counsel, I want the bond hearing in person. So, Zoom hearings are just not the best. And you're talking about whether or not the defendant will be given a bond and have an opportunity to bail out. And the judge may want to hear from him, and this judge may decide I need to see people in person to really judge credibility. When I hear from witnesses, he's anticipating he's going to hear some proof, some testimony or proof of some sort. So I understand the judge would want to do that in person so he can weigh the credibility of whatever witnesses are called.
Now you're obviously seeing a picture of Sheriff Dines there from the Friday hearing. This is a Zoom with the husband and wife defense team, and then Kevin Mullins on the right. This just to bring everyone up to date for those who are new to the story. This is probably one of the crazier stories that I've covered in recent years.
I think it's
That
crazy
is
too.
the sheriff in the plain clothes, notably not in his uniform, pointing a weapon, which he then fired 8 rounds into Judge Kevin Mullins. He's actually kind of smiling. That is the last moment of his life right there. And then obviously you see the response to the shooting in Whitesburg, Kentucky there, bottom left. So a lot to
This is live,
unpack
not
when
a
we go through this
replay.
step by step today.
I wonder if
And
that's to
there's some
me,
interesting
because I said I'm
developments for
sharing for
sure.
a
But
moment.
Elizabeth, Hillbilly Crime, to you, anything new
What do you think?
No, I mean, I've never heard that before.
that you've uncovered that you're willing to share before we get back? I want to get back to this hearing after that, and then we'll get to some other important information.
Yeah, thank you. So one thing that they had in the newspaper that I did not hear in the hearing was the discovery that they have. I did hear in the hearing that they, as far as the way that I understood it, they've already turned over all of the discovery. But in the paper, it said that the prosecutors have turned over more than 2,400 pages of evidence, 329 audio files,
Of what?
234
Like
video
what?
files, and 11 photographs
We're back.
to the defense.
Right. Well, I guess we would need. We need. I guess she talking about the other stuff that was happening. I guess. You're on mute. Yeah, they were friends, Melissa. I guess they worked together. There was some stuff going on. Some shady stuff behind the scenes, and I don't know. Things got crazy, and he killed his friend.
I'm so sorry. My son was calling me real quick. What? Okay, what happened just now?
Well, she's talking about, they've got all this evidence, but I don't know what she's talking about. Evidence for what? Because
Yeah, where are they covering this case at? Because we are dying to hear more.
well, the newspaper, we just need to find out the county, and we could probably find it. But the evidence it's got to be. I mean, I'm thinking surely we can get what she's getting. She may be from there though. She kind of sounds like she's from Kentucky.
Yeah.
But, we know people from Kentucky that should get that newspaper. Where are you at, Mayor's daughter?
That's right. There you go. Somebody's got to know.
Yeah. I mean, I know it goes deep, and, people are, because of the good old boy system there, people are a little afraid. But,
I think more than a little afraid. I think everybody that I've talked to is afraid.
yeah.
Everybody who mentions this case is afraid. I don't know what they're afraid of necessarily, but nobody seems to want to talk about it.
Well,
Everybody seems like they're really hush hush,
Yeah. And I find this one so interesting. Like, why? What happened? What happened in that moment? They had lunch. He said, "We'll talk about this later," and then boom.
Yes. So you don't want to watch. You don't want to watch any more of that. Make sure.
No, I'm a little afraid. He's live. I don't want to stream it live. I'm a little.
Yeah.
All
right. Well,
So,
do you want to drop me his link? Drop his link so people can go over there and watch.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
And I guess we're gonna be done, or are we're trying to wait for the jury to come back, right?
Well, yeah, I just checked to see if they was back because I thought they may be, but they're not. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that y'all probably don't need his link, but here it is. This is Surviving the Survivor.
don't have his link.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll end this and we'll talk about whatever the jury comes back with tonight over on One Wins. Town's
Okay, yeah, we'll
newspaper
watch the
appears to
verdict
be
for that one.
about 20 years behind the rest of the internet.
Okay,
Gotcha,
so we'll
Alan.
watch we'll watch the sentencing on my channel tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Yes, thank you guys. We know it was rough. The impact statements are rough. We know that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys being here with us. All right, talk to you guys later. See you tonight.